The following program is powered by Ride the Wave Media.
Introducing the best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak. Here are your hosts, Just Blane and Becks.
All right, it's Just Blane here.
And I'm Becks.
It's Radio Daybreak.
The best podcast in Utah.
Now, we got to get to something serious here. September is Suicide Awareness Month, or Suicide Prevention Month. Yes. I guess it's both.
Yes.
And first up, 988, that's the number you hit. If you've got any issues, please call that number. They made it a whole lot easier than it used to be.
Full resources are available there if you are struggling.
So,
absolutely.
This episode is very special. We recorded this a little bit ago, and it's with a very special person that we met at another place in Utah, the Lake House Studios.
Yeah, Miss Brandy Vega. She's absolutely awesome what she's doing.
And I didn't even know who she was until we met her, and now she's one of my favorite people. So you're gonna hear me say, I don't know who you are. In a joking way, of course, because I love our guest.
She's
wonderful. She is the head of Promise to Live.
That's right.
And I actually have, let me find it in my pocket here. I've got the coin.
You got your pocket hug.
Now look at this. This is the Promise to Live. We might not get it focused in there, but on the back of this, it says call or text 988 when you are struggling, when times are tough and you don't know what to do. Here is a hug from me to you.
Yeah.
She gave us these, and the more we talked to her and found out what she was doing, we basically got involved with an event.
We are going to a huge event in LA this weekend. We're flying out. The event is actually on National Suicide Awareness Day, which is September 10th.
Yep.
And again, it's going to be at Avalon Studio. So we are taking Radio Daybreak out there. We will be participating in that. And tell them more, Blane.
Yeah, we're going to be out there doing red carpet interviews and talking to people that come in and getting messages of hope from whoever comes through. I've seen the list. I can't even name off some of these people, but the list was long.
Yeah, they've got a massive talent list. There will be some celebrities there, some guests. I mean, the whole LA scene, red carpet event. It's going to be
right
awesome.
So we're going to be out there hosting that right off of Hollywood Boulevard at the Avalon. We're going to have footage from that next week. But right now, let's go. Go
Blane,
ahead. You got one more?
I do. They can still get tickets.
That's absolutely correct.
Yes, we will share the link where you guys can get free tickets. Come and join us out in LA. It will be an amazing event. All of those proceeds go to her charity.
Yes.
And again, to purchase more of those pocket hugs and for suicide tools, awareness, and spreading the message.
Yeah, because that's what it's all about. So more about the message right here. Let's go to the interview we did with Brandi. We'll see you guys in Hollywood.
Let's do it.
All right, we got our guest right now, and let me just tell you that I'm not really sure who Brandy Vega is, but here's how this happened. Was last week me and Becks were at the Creative Chamber with CJ. Now I'm having a conversation with CJ as I'm leaving, and I see Becks over there just chopping it up. And later I find out Brandi. Becks comes to me and she's like, that's Brandy Vega, and I'm like, Brandy Vega? Like, is that a wrestler or something? What is that? But
yeah, she's got a catchy name.
right, I love the name. But Becks told me a little bit more about her, and I was like, well, we got to get her on. We got to get her on like ASAP. Becks, please introduce her to us as you did to me.
Yes, absolutely. First off, Brandi, thank you. I know you are a busy lady and you wear lots of hats. But yes, we've got Brandy Vega here in studio. Brandi, again, wears lots of different hats. She's involved in many amazing organizations and businesses, namely Promise to Live. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Dancan, and then also Vega Media Studios. So again, Brandi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's fun to connect.
Yes. Awesome.
Where do we start? Where do we start with Brandi?
I really will. We're in the month of August. Here we are. August is here. National Suicide Prevention Month is coming up in September. Let's dive into her work and what she's doing with Promise to Live campaign. It has it's so incredibly impactful. Brandi, share us how you got started with this initiative.
Well, I think often when people get involved in something, it's because they have a purpose behind it. So I almost lost my child to suicide. about 3 years ago, and she was just 14 years old, and it was actually her second time. And it was just absolutely terrifying because we weren't entirely sure if she was going to make it through for a couple of days. And if she did, if she would have permanent disabilities. And so it kind of sent me down this dark path because thankfully her friend had the courage to call 911. We found her in time. We got to primaries, but they didn't even have her to bed because they had so many children attempting to end their lives. And I was just devastated. I actually volunteered at the hospital at IHC doing spiritual care, Nobody Dies Alone, for 7 years.
Wow.
And I'd sat with a lot of patients, but when you're looking at your baby, it hurts so bad. It just hits different. And I was just begging God to save her. And I actually did my most vulnerable video. My background, I was in the Army. I served the military from 95 to 03 as a broadcast journalist, public affairs specialist, reported for Fox News at just 20 years old, got to interview the president of the United States. I did a lot of cool things in my career. I worked in TV news for about 15 years, and then I founded Vega Media. And I founded my nonprofit in 2015. The nonprofit's called Good Deed Revolution. Our campaign and initiative is A Promise to Live.
Okay.
So I founded that in 2015 after so many years of working in news and covering, if it bleeds, it leads type stories that are very sad and PTSD and all the things. So we were just kind of going through this. And when I almost lost my daughter, I did a video in my car and I just said, I need help. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. And I know some of you have been through it. And that video on my personal Facebook page got 12,000 views overnight. Wow. I had hundreds of messages from people I would have never thought, people like you or whoever, going through things that I never saw. And my friends at NBC reached out and said, will you share your story? I said, no way. Too private, personal, painful, not going to happen. But I was also begging God to save my daughter. And I felt, the second day I got this message that I'd get a second chance, but there wouldn't be a third. And shortly after, she woke up and I was holding her hand. And I just said, babe, are you glad you're alive, or do you really wish you would have died? And she said, Mom, I didn't really want to die. It was just too late. And we know people don't want to die. They just want to kill the pain. And this kind of set me on the journey of my background has been producing media, TV. And I remembered back to Live Aid in 1985. And I thought, wow, what if we could do a show where we deliver hope, help, healing, and resources? Utah does a great job of disagree better. My mission is to collaborate when it counts. And I think most people should be in that mindset. And so we created this show. Our first one was almost 3 years ago. And we hit 160,000. Wow. Our show last year, we hit around 400,000. This year, we're on track to hit between 2.5 and 10 million people. We're doing the show in Hollywood. We're working with celebrities, influencers, bands. We have some folks from Pink Floyd, from Foo Fighters, from just all kinds of different groups, The Simpsons. And it's exciting, but just briefly, and I know I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry. Every 40 seconds, somebody dies by suicide. Yeah. I don't know if you guys knew that. Every 40 seconds, somebody dies by suicide. In 25 or 30 seconds, what we ask people to do with Promise to Live, because we have to shift this from awareness, we're all aware there's a problem, to action and accountability. Yeah. So we ask everyone, whether or not you struggle, to make a promise right now, this second, that if you ever find yourself in that dark, dark place, that you'll reach out to a friend, a family member, a trusted resource like AFSP, NAMI, Jed, Trevor, Live On, or call or text 988. And 988 is the 911 for mental health that's been out 2 years that only 20% or so of people know about. Wow. So that's kind of our mission. We're doing a lot of really cool things, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, truly, just absolutely amazing. And, I am a retired ER nurse. I am ashamed to say I didn't know about 988. I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that.
It's been out 2 years.
That's probably why I'm retired out of, medical about 3 years ago.
I've got a wild story. I have a wild story about the suicide hotline. And this is a true testament to you never know when you're going to really help somebody. I worked at a radio station. I was working overnight shifts, and our phone number, I didn't know this at the time. Our phone number was a 186 number, 1866. It was one digit off from the suicide hotline, right? Did not know this at the time. So I answered the phone at 3 a.m. and I think it's a caller trying to get on a radio show. So it's, what's your name? What city you're in? and it kind of took them aback. They were like, so I get to chatting with this individual, and I literally go from almost asleep because it's 3 a.m. and I'm doing this boring radio work, and I sit up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. This girl, don't want to give any more information than that, is going through something, and they don't think they're calling a radio station. That's when I looked it up. Sure enough, it was like 1-866 something, one digit away.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, whatever you're thinking, don't do that. I'm not the one to talk to. Call this other number right now. But I knew it felt different when I started talking to this individual. They were going through something. So you never know when something like that will come across. Like it was, to this day, it's still, you see me, I'm a little bit rattled. It kind of rattled me that I was that individual that they ran into, and I never answered a phone call on the radio station anymore with a, who are you? Where are you from? I never knew who was on that other side.
Yeah. Gives you a different perspective. Yeah.
But that was, that's back to 988 is relatively new. 2 years.
988 is 911. Yeah, 988 is the 911 for mental health. You can call, you can text 24/7, and so we're really trying to get that out there. In fact, when you make the promise to live, you go to promise2live.org. Yeah, you can, when you go there and you make the promise, it takes 25-30 seconds. I mean, all you're doing is putting in your email and your phone number if you choose to, and then you click the I promise, and you can opt in for our information, which is really great because then we can bring you hope and resources and events and just different things that are happening, like our global live stream September 10th. And then we ask you to share that on social media because the deaths have gone up 71% in youth since 2010. So our mission at Promise to Live is to reach people where they are on the devices and platforms they use through the people they already know, trust, and follow. So that's really critical to us. And we're doing a lot of it through our Pocket Hug project too.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of the ways we're doing it. Yeah. You want me to tell you more about it?
Yeah, tell us more about the Pocket Hug.
Let me jump in right there because if you're watching the video feed, you saw me just make that promise as she was talking about it. It was that easy to make the promise.
Yep.
It's that easy to do that. But now you got to follow through. And I think that's where
now you see the share with others option over there.
Absolutely.
Share it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, because when you share things, you become a safe space, and that safe space helps stop stigma and it starts conversations. And that's what we're really, really trying to do. We got to let people know that it's okay. Mental health, addiction, trauma, all of this, it's okay to talk about it. We're humans, and it's brave. So we want people to help us stop the stigma by making the promise to live. And there's actual studies out there that shows, if somebody makes a promise ahead of time, not directly related to mental health or suicide, and this isn't a suicide pact, this is a promise to reach out for help if you find yourself struggling, friend, family member, resource. So we want everybody to do it and share it and become that safe space. Because like you were talking about, I get people reaching out to me all the time. I mean, I get a text or an email every day. I had somebody on LinkedIn the other day just message me and say, hey, I met you one time at an event for Dancan, my tech company, where we were doing a panel. But I had mentioned some mental health during that because, manipulated media and sextortion and all these things can lead to suicide as well. But he goes, I'm really struggling right now and I don't know who I can reach out to. Can I talk to you? And a person I met one time on at an event I attended. And so it's happening all the time. And that's kind of why we've done these pocket hugs. I think this is the cutest, coolest thing. So this is a Promise to Live pocket hug. It has our website on the front, and on the back, it says, when times are tough and you don't know what to do, here's a hug from me to you. And we're on a mission to do 100,000 of these this year. We've already done about 40,000 of these that we've given out. Kevin Bacon's group got 5,000. The YSA, the Young Single Adults, did it as a service project. So they put out about 16,500. And then just all these various groups. So people can go online and get these if you want. And we're doing letters, handwritten, heartfelt letters of love that go out. But these pocket hugs are so nice. So we ask people, make the promise to live And then you get a coin to keep and you get a coin to give. We want you to connect. The Surgeon General says there's an epidemic of loneliness. This is a calling card. This is a tool to reach out and give to somebody in the drive-thru or at the market or wherever you go at your church.
Love that. Love that. And again, to find those, promisetolive.com.
Org.
.org. Promisetolive.org. Thank you for correcting me on that. Absolutely amazing.
And you keep it in your pocket. And you know the way these came about real quick. Sometimes the stuff we do is heavy, you know? And I had a friend who sent me a letter with a generic pocket hug. I'd never seen one. And I just thought, wow, that was nice. She goes, I just want you to know you're loved because you're sometimes doing the hard things and maybe you're struggling. And I put it in my pocket. I had it there for a month. And every time I reached in, there was winter, I would rub it, feel it, kind of gave me courage. It was that tactile, you know, something I could fidget with. My friend's 35-year-old son died by overdose. And they asked me to speak at his funeral. And I'd already spoke at their daughter's funeral 9 years earlier. And I was sitting there getting ready to speak. And I was talking to the mom and I was feeling this in my pocket for comfort. And I just felt inspired to give it to her. So I reached in and I said, you know what, I want you to have this. And she took it and she read it and she cried. And the next week she wrote me back after the funeral. And she said, that coin, that pocket hug got me through the whole week. I felt like you were with me. It gave me the comfort and the courage. And right there, the idea was born that we have to give people hope and resources in their pocket, let them know they're loved, but also a way to connect and find resources. So
absolutely love that.
Incredible stuff you're doing. Like it's a lot. Like you said, it's heavy. How do you cope with that? How do you cope? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot for you to take in. And who checks on you? Who watches the watcher? You know?
Dr. Pepper Zero is my best friend.
Yeah, right.
I have a great support team. We have amazing advocates and ambassadors on my advisory team and in the community. I wake up every day with a sense of urgency. And Da Vinci said it best. He said, I've been impressed with the sense of urgency. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. So I've been gathering doers because literally I know people are struggling now and need the help. That kind of gets me through when I have people message me and say, I'm here because I made the promise. I know what I'm doing matters. And it's hard. It's hard because we're a small nonprofit. We have a global reach we had 117 countries come to our site. We're doing all of this with a volunteer army because we don't have budget to hire people yet. We're getting there. But it's just the love and the comfort that comes from knowing you're making a difference and hearing it. It's the ROI.
Yeah. And I know, as I mentioned, you know, with your intro, that National Suicide Prevention Month is just right around the corner. So we really wanted to get you on the pod to, you know, talk about your messaging. And you do an event, right? You got an event coming up on the 10th, which is.
I am so excited.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. It's our third annual Promise to Live global live stream and gala at the iconic Avalon Theater in Hollywood, like where the stars are, Hollywood Boulevard. Really cool.
I love Avalon.
So fun. And
I love Avalon.
Have you been there?
Blane is from Hollywood.
I used to play Avalon. Oh, yeah.
Well, then you got to come. You see this invite? Grab a ticket. Let's go. Let's get you over there. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, we're putting together a lineup. An incredible lineup.
Come broadcast. I'd come broadcast that.
Perfect. Well, we're going to be doing, celebrating heroes in the mental health community. So if people have somebody that they want to nominate, like a leader, an advocate, an individual, a business, let me know. Reach out to me because we're looking for heroes to honor. This will be an annual event we do every September 10th. Our current reach, like we mentioned, is 250 million globally, because what we do differently is we're live streaming to multiple platforms, people with 100,000, 1 million followers. And so we'll be just live streaming on TV and broadcast and radio networks. We've teamed up with Dash Radio, which is now Lit Live. They're going to be streaming our show, just a lot of cool things. But we want people to tune in to learn about 988, AFSP, all these different groups. Our partners are listed there. But that's our mission, is to bring some healing through music and media. Let people know they're not alone, encourage them, and then let them know about the resources.
Yeah, just
You can't get
So
better.
yeah, you can get tickets on Promise to Live. It's going to be, we have a red carpet. Like I did the red carpet. I was there a couple of weeks ago for the Hollywood Independent Music Awards, the HEMAs. I'm on their board now. Look at me. Anyway, it was fun. It was my first time walking a red carpet. I didn't know what to do. I walked out there and I like smile at all the cameras. They're like, no, stop here, smile at this one. Stop here. Smile. It was fun. So we're going to have that red carpet event. It's going to be a great, great night full of incredible people. And guess what? Every single one of our performers or speakers, they're donating or volunteering their time because this means something to them. We couldn't afford to put this show on. I mean, we pay for production and everything, but we couldn't pay the amount of talent. I mean, last year, if we had paid our talent for everything, we'd be in the millions of dollars. And this year, even more.
Easily, I'm sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Blane,
So
mark your calendar.
I want to put this up too, because here's a way to donate for you.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Well, thank you.
And
Thank you. Yeah.
it's hard to ask for money, but I don't think this is like money to humanity. It's you know what I mean? Like that to me, that's what it feels like. So not soliciting people for money, but if you want to give some money, like do it right here. It is.
I think it's one of those situations where it's like, if you haven't been impacted by suicide in your life or a loved one, you're one of the very lucky few, right? I mean, it is so prevalent, to your point earlier, Brandi, with every 40 seconds, another person takes their life. That's massive. That's massive. So if you feel compelled, here's the ways to donate. Blane, thank you so very much for throwing that up, because I personally have been impacted by this. So it means a lot. You know, it's a hard topic. It means a lot. And thank you for getting the awareness out, Brandi. These conversations need to be
thank you for sharing that. And I hope what people know too is the money donated, we're getting these pocket hugs, and we're getting them into schools and colleges and universities, and we're giving them out wherever we are. So, you know, that's where some of it goes. Some of it goes for education and training. Some of it goes for counseling. Some of it, there you go. Production. So we sure appreciate that. We're working to create courses and online content so people can find peer-to-peer. Wow. You know, my daughter tried to end her life 5 days before her appointment. We waited 3 months for. And so there's just a lack of providers, and, you know, no fault of their own, but the system's a little bit broke. So we believe in peer-to-peer, AI, self-guided, online, all these different things that we can kind of implement beforehand. And AFSP and NAMI and these guys, they have great programs. We want to put a fence at the top of the mountain instead of bring an ambulance to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our goal. We've teamed up with Resilient U. They go to schools and they work with the K through 6, and it's amazing teaching them resilience.
Yes, and then touch on that. Yeah, your work that you're doing in the school, because we hadn't talked a whole lot about that, which is absolutely great that you're getting in early, right? You're getting in early, K through 6, which is wonderful, because we're finding younger and younger individuals, right? Are committing or attempting suicide. Yeah, so sad.
We had a day last year where I work with the Fraternal Order of Police too. Like, we're forming a partnership there. They're great, do wonderful work. But on that same day, they had lost an 8-year-old to suicide, and we lost an 80-year-old. Same day, an older grandmother who was just done, and a little 8-year-old boy. And I have a 7-year-old, and I think about that. Like, how do they even know? And people will often say, not my kid. My kid's fine. My husband's fine. My mom's fine. They're not. So here's what you need to do. You need to stop what you're doing and ask people point blank if they're feeling suicidal. Honest questions, honest answers. You're not going to plant an idea. The studies prove that. So I would challenge anyone and everyone within the sound of this voice. Check on the people you love today and ask them that honest question. We teamed up with MTV this year on some activations, and MTV, they have a campaign called Ask, A-S-K. So people are often afraid because what if they are? What do I say? What do I do? You acknowledge, that's the A. You support, that's the S. And you keep in touch, that's K. Just ask, acknowledge, support, keep in touch. And, you know, and then 988 and just reaching out and things like that. And when you talk about people not knowing or being involved, one of the guys I reached out to who's now heavily involved in our show, September 10th, when I first reached out to him 2 years ago, I said, we're doing this really great thing. He's a musician and a producer director. Do you want to participate? Yeah, I care about that. Teen mental health is important. Yeah, that's a good cause. A year later, Brandi, my daughter tried to end her life I want in, I want to help. I want to do whatever I can do. How do I do this? How do I navigate? You've been through it.
Wow.
To you, Bex, if you haven't been through it yet,
Yeah.
stand by. Fortunately, but we're trying to prevent that. We are
Right.
trying to prevent that. So have these conversations now. You'll never regret a conversation you have now.
Yeah. And I love that you said step one, honest conversation. Are you feeling suicidal? Sometimes that is a very hard question to ask, right? I mean, even with my nursing background in the ER, often we got those crisis situations as they're coming in the door, right? And, or after the attempt has already been made. So I love what you say about prevention and everything that you're doing. Blane, you have a question. Yeah.
No, I just, before we get out, I got to throw some respect towards Becks, because I have seen you ask that question.
Yeah.
I have seen you
Yes.
do that to someone, and it's not easy.
Good job.
Yeah.
I've seen that in person. I've seen you do that, and that takes so much courage. There was other people around. I'm sure other people were thinking it, wanting to ask it, but she did it. So got to give her respect for that. Brandy, thank you so much. Whenever you want us, you want to come on, whatever you got, come on. Let us know. Shoot us a text. Shoot us an email. We'd love to get the word out even more. Bex, what else you got?
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit, just if that's okay. And I want to congratulate Brandi, because I know that you just received a 40 under 40 award. So congratulations on that.
What?
And I want you to touch a little bit on, because we talked about you do wear multiple hats and multiple businesses. So please share a little bit of that with us and let us celebrate with you. Congrats.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I actually got the 40 over 40 award, which is, there's a funny story there, because I won 40 under 40 2 years ago. And they're like, congratulations, you're 40 under 40. And I was like, I am so excited, but I'm 44. Do I still win? And they're like, just kidding. Delete, move. And so this year I got the 40 over 40, and I'll be pushing 47. So I was thankful for that. But yeah, I run Vega Media Studios. I've been doing production, as I mentioned early on, for almost 30 years. I can't believe I'm that old. I started at 17 in the military professionally. But I love it. So I have a video production company. We do training, education, product, commercials. You can see some of our commercials at Megaplex. You can see them on the billboards. I mean, we do everything. It's fun, which is part of the reason I'm able to do the show, is because I understand production and how it all works. And I'm connected pretty well to various industries and people. And then I have a new company that I'm super excited about, and I hope people will check out. It's called Dancan, DANCAN.ai. And that stands for Digital Authentication Network, Certified and Non-Negotiable. Essentially, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but you can't believe anything you see, hear, or read anymore. You just can't, not with the advancements of AI, deepfakes, synthetic, and manipulated media. So what my company does is we authenticate content, so you know 100% truth, trust, and transparency with the stuff you're seeing. So if anybody edits your footage at all, a pixel, a frame, manipulated media, anything like that, you're going to know that it's been edited. And so this is our way of authenticating content, letting people know where the truth lies, because it's dangerous and destructive. I mean, people released deepfakes with Zelensky and people died.
Yep.
You know, and elections have been lost because he releases a deepfake video or audio, and literally with 1 minute and $1, we could take anybody in the world and have them say anything we wanted them to say. Wow. We did it with the governor just as a joke, right? And so we have to fight that. And that's part of my mission in media and production, is we want to know where the truth lies. And it's going to come to a point where you're going to have to say you can't believe anything you see unless you see it on my site as authenticated. And it's a drag and drop. We have, is it real, is it fake? Those aren't up totally operational because it's going to take a minute to get it out to the community. We're working more B2B right now, but it'll be B2C as we grow. But yeah, that's how we're going to have to know to look at it and say this, oh, that video actually came from Brandi, or somebody, overseas manipulated it and uploaded it as her. And with organizations that care about reputation, and there's a company in China, they lost 25 million over a deep fake video.
Oh,
that's
$25 million.
They faked the entire conference and conference call and all this stuff, and then wired the money out. That's wild. I saw that.
Oh my gosh.
It's only going to get crazier. Yeah. That's all it is. It's going to get crazier. I'm on top of this. I love what you're saying, Brandy. Brandy, me and you need to link up after this because
we need to link up.
We got.
Well, we also fight piracy with that. Just so you know, like we can fight piracy. We can record content, and then if anybody's stealing it, we can fight that. So, yes, please.
Yeah. I'm all about getting rid of misinformation out there. I got a journalist background. I graduated from the University of Memphis in journalism, in broadcasting. Been doing this for 20 plus years.
Awesome.
Produced, went to Hollywood, did the whole thing, and it's I'm I'm looking at this and I'm like, whoa.
So needed. Yeah. So absolutely needed.
Well,
but I'm not against AI.
More now than ever.
Yeah.
I'm not against AI.
No, I love AI.
It's a great tool to use. Not for this. Not for the deep fakes and getting people killed and getting people bankrupt. Like that's not what it's here for. I think it's here to help humans basically do stuff that is monotonous or whatever you want to do. Or to me, I can put something in it and get a creative idea sparked. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Not that.
I use AI all the time in my company. It's amazing. Yeah. But the problem is you just have to have some regulations. There's no oversight. It's like the wild, wild west. Anyone can do anything anywhere right now. Yeah. We don't know truth, especially for some of our older population. They just, you used to live in a world where you could, if you saw it, you believed it.
I've seen this with my own parents. Yep. It's crazy the stuff that they think because they find it on the internet, and some of the things, not to jump into politics or anything like that, but they believe this, or the other because they've seen it online or they've seen video.
Yeah. And Dancan,
oh my gosh,
it's wild. I got to go earlier this year to Iowa for the Warrior Rising. So I got top 10 in the country for new startup, new tech company. So we're on a mission there because it's just, we have to, and we're on the cutting edge of it. So we need to get it out there now.
Yeah, this is amazing. This will make you your $1 billion right here, Brandy. This will be your $1 billion.
This will fund.
This is her unicorn. Yes.
Really, I'm not.
Yes,
truly. This is the forefront of this is the wall. This is the security, the checks and balances for the AI to keep it from becoming sentient and becoming what was Skynet, becoming Skynet from the Terminator. Like this. Yeah, but in all realness, this is cutting edge, like you said, forefront for sure. I can't wait. I'll be on the watch for this over the next few years because it will.
We're going to be like BFFs.
Totally, I see that.
Let's do it. And
you see this happening.
Terminator. Guess who's going to? You said Terminator. Guess who's going to be at our global live stream?
Is
Larry
Arnold
Kassenhoff, I believe he worked in that.
Who is?
Is Arnold?
I wish. I don't know yet. We've got a lot of people who may or may not be there, but we have some really great people on our list. Start right now. And the producer director from some of these movies you just mentioned might be there too.
Awesome.
So it's going to be a good time. You guys need to come and deck out and join me on the red carpet and enjoy a great show, or at least live stream. And
we're getting tickets right after we end this pod. We're getting tickets.
I'll do it. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brandi.
Yes, I love it.
See, I'm glad I threw it back to Becks because I almost cut out of here before I even got to that. And that's right here. I'm telling you.
This is a hard part about my life.
I want to bring you back on and do a whole show on Dancan. I think that's.
Let's do a whole show on Dancan.
And Vega Media Studios. Need to jump into that.
And you know what? We didn't even get to talk about when I was a surrogate mom 6 years ago and when I adopted my little boy from foster care. Like, I love talking about foster care, surrogacy, all the things. Like, let's just continue sometime.
There's the teaser. Part 2 is on the way. Part 2. Thank you, Brandi. Yeah. We really will. We'll be in touch. We'll see you around. Come to some events. We'll do whatever we can to get the word out about promisetolive.org and Dancan, because I'm just as interested in that on another level. Like that to me is that's touching my heart on another level. So
yes,
love all that you're doing. I love all that you're doing. Come back and see us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Brandi.
Anytime.